All right, everybody. Huge news. Potential ceasefire in Gaza. So Israel still has to agree. Hamas has agreed. What are the terms? Who organized it? Is it really going to hold? Is it temporary, or is this particular war slash conflict slash siege slash slaughter over? And it might be over. So hold on. I'm going to tell you all about it. But remember, guys, Monday through Friday, the show's at 6 o'clock Eastern, where Anna and I give you all the facts and break down all the different angles. So make sure you're tuning in tonight at 6 o'clock for all the details right here at youtube.com/the Young Turks. Don't miss out on the live shows. The live shows are the most fun and the most interesting and has all of the facts, like I said. All right. So now let me tell you about this one. And of course, membership makes all this possible. And if you guys hit the join button in the middle of this video, I'll definitely give you guys a shout out. And then between now and then, I'll give you guys shout outs on the live show at 6 o'clock too. Okay. So the reason we say Hamas has agreed to the ceasefire rather than both sides have agreed to it is that Israel apparently helped to craft this version of the ceasefire. To which degree they helped craft it is a little unclear. To will and what is the latest version is a little unclear. And again, at 6 o'clock, we'll have more details. But the main people who organize this are Egypt and Qatar. The reason that that's relevant is because the Palestinians are more likely to trust those sources. So this is not some sort of BS. Oh, America and Israel have proposed a ceasefire. It involves Hamas decapitating all of themselves on live television and then saying that, of course, Israel should take Gaza, right? Like Israel and America have proposed nonsense like that in the past. Am I doing hyperbole? Of course, of course. But overall, yes, they've said Hamas should all turn themselves in. Otherwise, we're going to keep leveling Gaza. Well, the good news is it appears they're not saying that anymore. That is actually fantastic news. So I'm going to come back to the Israeli position in a second. But so you know what's in the deal, apparently 20 to 33 hostages are going to be released over the next several weeks by Hamas. Great news. We want all the hostages released. And they're going to get some Palestinian prisoners in exchange. And then they're going to exchange even more prisoners in the next, from there on over a sustained period of time. And what they're looking for is sustained calm. And the reason why that's so important, guys, is because either this is going to be a real peace deal for the moment being, as long as there's an occupation, you never have real peace. But this would be short term, but really massively important peace deal to at least stop the bombing for now. And of course, the number one reason why it's so important, other than the slaughter that's already happened, is that Israel was saying, that's it, we're going into Rafah right now. And they gave an order to evacuate Rafah immediately for all Palestinians. There's about 1 million Palestinians there. They've been squeezed to the south of Gaza where Rafah is. They've been penned in, and Israel was about to start dropping bombs in the middle of 1 million civilians in a tiny, tiny amount of area, right? So there was, I was panicked that they were going to start that. And guys, this is the most important part. If they had gone into Rafah, and look, nothing is guaranteed yet, but if this holds and Israel also agrees, if they had gone into Rafah, I'm not sure we could have unwound that. It would have been catastrophic for both sides. Would have been catastrophic for the Palestinians in a way that's obvious. There would have been slaughtered again, probably tens of thousands dead. It just would have been one of the most horrific things you've ever seen. And it would have been catastrophic for Israel because I don't think that they could have gotten their reputation back in any way, shape, or form. Now, if you're a pro-Israeli, you believe you're on a different planet and you believe things like, oh, no, Israel's reputation is great. It's the Palestinians who are dirty terrorists and the world knows them. They're such violent savages and Israel is the most moral army. Okay, outside of you guys who believe that, literally no one else does. Okay, the rest of the planet is clear. October 7th was terrible. What Israel has done since is, well, it's 30 times worse, literally, based on civilian death counts, based on civilian, soldier ratios, based on humanitarian aid workers killed, based on journalists killed, based on every metric. It's 30 times worse. So you can say, oh, but the dirty Palestinians had it coming. but then you're kind of admitting you're a racist. So okay. Anyways, you guys deal with that with your own therapist. But the bottom line is, if Israel had gone further, hit the gas pedal again, and leveled Rafah, I think the world would have been so disgusted by that, that if I then turned around later and was like, guys, okay, they made a peace deal. Let's get beyond it. Let's get beyond it, right? Nobody would have listened. I mean, it would have. So let's hope that never happens and we never get to find out if I was right or wrong. Please, let's hope, hope, hope. So, okay, finally, for now, again, all details every day, Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 o'clock, we have the live show. So make sure you tune in there to get things you don't get in the clips too. All right, is that, guys, if uh, Hamas probably revised the latest version. Otherwise, there'd be no point to not having signed it earlier. And so if Israel has to still look at that version, presumably, and has to sign off on it. And let's all do whatever we do, pray if you're religious, and and hope if you're not, that they do sign on to this ceasefire deal. Again, the word was that they helped to craft it in the beginning, which makes sense. Otherwise, what's the point? Egypt and Qatar can't do a peace deal with themselves. They've got it, they were consulting America and Israel, obviously, as well. So bottom line is, if Israel says yes, they also agree to the ceasefire, Rafah will be spared for now, and that's terrific. And hopefully they can get to that sustainable calm where this entire conflict for that of leveling Gaza that Israel has done is over. That would be amazing, and that's the thing we're all rooting for. And that would make this the biggest news story in the last 6-7 months, right? And then we must work towards ending the occupation, because if you don't end the occupation, this is just going to pop up again in another 2 years, another 4 years, and another 6 months. You can't just imprison 5.5 million people and have those hostages and then go, what? I thought I solved the problem. No, you must end the occupation. That is non-negotiable in the long run. In the long run, we don't need it this second. We need this ceasefire this second. Last thing is, Israel said they were doing these incursions into Rafah to kind of get Hamas to the table. But I get it strategically, and I believe in realpolitik and all of that. But brother, man, this is so cruel and horrible. In at least one of those bombings, 18 children were killed. In at least another bombing, 10 children were killed, let alone everyone else that was killed, let alone the other bombings. That's basically Israel executing 28 children hostages to get the 33 hostages back from Hamas over the next couple of weeks. And it sucks that that's the reality, and I wish that weren't the case. But the reality is, every Palestinian in West Bank and Gaza Strip is a hostage of Israel, and they can kill them at any time. And so every once in a while, they'll kill a bunch and go, okay, you want to come back to uh, the table and take our version of the deal, or whichever version we like, etc. Otherwise, I'm going to keep killing the hostages. And so the Western media never paints it that way. It is, although it is empirically that way. That's just the reality of it. And because it feels uncomfortable. And guys, last thing for now, why does it feel uncomfortable? Because when you say that Muslims or Palestinians are terrorists and killing civilians on purpose and killing the hostages, and look at how savage they are, nobody thinks that's racist in America. They think, yeah, of course, those dirty Muslims, right? Of course, you could paint them any way you like. But if you say Israel is killing hostages on purpose, they're just not slicing their throat, they're dropping a bomb on their heads. But the 18 kids are enormously dead. They're lit on fire, their heads exploded. That's the reality of what happens when you drop a bomb on kids. And people hate that reality because it makes Israel look incredibly violent and incredibly immoral. So they say, shh, you're not allowed to say it that way when it comes to Israel. Well, you're just admitting you have two different standards, and you're being wildly hypocritical. And so they love to say, oh, yeah, do you denounce Hamas? Right? That's the oldest trick in the book. But for us, it's easy because, yes, we do denounce Hamas. Yes, we hate the way that they kill civilians. We also hate the way Israel kills civilians. But in America, that's considered anti-Semitic to be even-handed and fair to both sides of civilians. So, but let's hope that we can get past all of that and get to this ceasefire peace deal so we can save all those lives in Rafah, and then hopefully, hope against hope, that we drive both sides, Israel and Hamas and the Palestinian Authority, everybody on that side, to an actual bigger peace deal to save the Palestinians, create a second state, and to save Israel, so they could actually be a safe haven for Jews, and we could lovingly accept both nations into the world community. Okay, but again, a lot more to find out between now and showtime. So 6 o'clock tonight, Anna and I will break down all the details for you guys. And if you miss anything, that's also a great reason to be a member, because members catch all of our shows anytime they want. So hit the join button below. Love you guys. See you here a little bit later tonight.